I'm sorry? A couple of days next week.
So what was my? Off. Oh.
Your pen?
Doesn't matter, just anything to scratch notes on the side, thank you.
Good evening, welcome to the August 10th meeting of the Lowell License Commission. Secretary Wynn, was the meeting posted?
Yes.
Before we get to the agenda, I know I speak on behalf of Commissioners Donahue and McCarthy when I say convey our congratulations to the Lowell Police Department doing a fine job during the Folk Fest. I don't think there was anything major. Captain Webb, can you?
No, I'm glad to be able to report to you that there were no problems at all.
Beautiful. You can convey to Superintendent Taylor a fine job done.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Secretary Wynn?
First item on our meeting agenda is the minutes for our meeting of July 27, 2017.
Move for approval by Commissioner Donahue, seconded by Commissioner McCarthy. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Proceeding with the application for a special events permit for amplified outdoor public entertainment, starting with the application by Deputy Kelly Richardson of the Lowell Police Department for a movie showing the secret life of pets. This is the Lowell Police Department's Safe Summer Movie Night, Thursday, August 31st, 2017. This event was originally scheduled for August 2nd, but due to inclement weather, it was rescheduled. And the hours would be 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. to be held at the Clemente Park on Middlesex Street, and Captain Webb is here to represent Deputy Richardson. Also, we have Suzanne Cromwell of the Lowell Film Collaborative. Application for a sound system for the outdoor film, Thursday, September 7th, 8 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. at the Enterprise Bank parking lot on Middle Street. Also, Suzanne is representing the Lowell Film Collaborative for a sound system for outdoor film on Friday, September 22nd, from 7:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Sage Bank and UTEC parking lot, 15 Hurd Street. She is also representing the Mill City Grows, Inc. for a sound system for the 6th Annual Harvest Festival, which will be held Saturday, September 16th, from 11:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the North Common Park.
State your name for the record, please.
I'm Jonathan Webb from the Lowell Police Department, representing Deputy Kelly Richardson.
Deputy Superintendent didn't want to visit us tonight, Captain, or?
I think maybe he wanted to pass on this tonight.
Thank you. And Ms. Cromwell, can you just step to the lectern, please?
Yes, hi, I'm Suzanne Cromwell.
How are you tonight?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Very well. Have you held these licenses before in the past?
Yes, we
You
have.
have?
Mhm.
Have any concerns, any questions that you want to bring before the board?
No, I
All
think
set?
we're good.
All right.
Yep.
Wish of the body. Move for approval by Commissioner McCarthy, seconded by Commissioner Donahue. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Commission will now proceed with the application for a special one-day license to sell dispense malt beverages and wine only, or either one. First is a request to amend a license for a change of event and date and hours. This would have been a license approved by the commission on July 13, 2017, to Patricia Donahue of Gallery Z, 167 Market Street, the Art Reception Parallel. This is Saturday, August 12, 2017, 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. She's also requesting an event date change for another license that was granted by the License Commission July 13, 2017. Event at the Gallery Z at 167 Market Street. The open mic acoustic was be Friday, August 18, 2017, from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Also, we have Norman Karen of Gallery Z for 167 Market Street for the following events. 4 applications, starting with a concert with Eddie Dyer for Saturday, August 19th, 2017, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. The artist reception Art in Motion, Saturday, September 9th, from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Open mic, Friday, September 15th, from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. And Key Tones performance, Saturday, September 23rd, 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Also, there is David C. Cobb of the Outback Steakhouse for an outdoor site at 28 Reese Ave. This event is for the autism awareness, which will be Wednesday, August 16, 2017, from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. And Jennifer Simone for an event at Mill Number 5, 250 Jackson Street, the 4th and 5th floors. The event is known as That Whole Thing for Saturday, October 21st, 2017, from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Good evening. Could you all state your name for the record, please?
Patricia Donahue, Gallery Z.
Hi, Patricia.
Norman Karen, representing Gallery Z.
You know,
Jennifer Simone from Mill Number 5.
hi, Jennifer.
David Cobb, Outback Steakhouse.
Hi, Dave. How are you? Have each of you held these licenses in the past? All of you, so you understand your responsibilities with these licenses, right? Correct? Any questions for the board? Not at all. Questions or comments from the board? Move for approval by Commissioner Donahue, seconded by Commissioner McCarthy. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Good luck with all your events. All right, thank you.
Commission will now proceed with an application for a special one-day license to sell, dispense all alcoholic beverages from Mark Claremont of Miracle Providers Northeast at the Onyx Room at 122 Western Ave. This will be a charity cabaret show for the Miracle Providers Northeast for Saturday, September 23rd, 2017, from 7 p.m. to 12 midnight.
State your name for the record.
Mark Clement from the Miracle Providers.
How are you, Mark?
Good, how are you?
How you been?
Great.
Very good. Tell us what's going on at your event.
It'll be a musical cabaret show. It'll help raise funds for the children impacted by HIV and AIDS. It's like a preliminary to our big November show that we'll do again.
Great. And you've held these licenses before, Mark, right?
Yes.
Correct? Beautiful. Questions, comments from the board? Move for approval by Commissioner McCarthy, seconded by Commissioner Donahue. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Mark, good luck.
Thank you.
Take care.
Commission will now take up the applications to dispense wines only. This is an applications filed by Jim Diamond, who is the Executive Director of the Brush Art Gallery and Studios at 256 Market Street. The first event will be the artist reception, Little Black Dress Quilt Exhibit for Saturday, August 26, 2017, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. The artist reception honoring our veterans exhibit, so Saturday, November 11, 2017, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And the third event will be the artist reception, the annual jury members exhibit, so Saturday, December 9, 2017, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Good evening. State your name for the record.
Jim Diamond.
How are you, Jim?
Good, thank you.
Things going well?
Yeah, doing well, thank you.
Very good. Tell us about your events here.
Okay, these are just artist receptions. People come in for some refreshments and to meet the artists who are represented in the gallery.
Fantastic. Questions, comments from the board? Move for approval by Commissioner McCarthy, seconded by Commissioner Donahue. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Jim, good luck with your events.
Thank you.
All right.
Proceeding with number 6 on our meeting agenda, we have now a public hearing on the application by the licensee, the Liquor Shop, Inc., George M. Miamis, manager, the all alcoholic beverages package store licensee at 1201 Bridge Street. This will be for the alteration of licensed premises, which would entail 3 rooms at approximately 7,370 square feet. There will be 4 entrances and 4 exits.
Good evening, gentlemen. State your name for the record.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Gregory Curtis, representing the Liquor Shop, Inc. George Miamis is also with me, the owner.
How are you, Attorney Curtis?
Good evening.
Very
Excellent.
good. So tell us what's going on here. Seems like a pretty
Well,
big project.
Mr. Miamis has been at this location since 1991, the Sunrise Plaza. He was moved about maybe 8 years ago to one section near the Market Basket. Now he's had the opportunity to expand his store from 5,000 square feet to the 7,370 because of a slot opening up nearby. So his business is going well, and he's looking forward to expanding it. The store is going to stay relatively the same as shown on the plan. I think there's a red demarcation line that shows the expanded area. It's about 1/3 of what exists additional. The door is going to stay, again, one entrance. It's going to be moved over a little bit, but it's going to be one entrance, one exit for the retail. In the back, you will have extra entrance and exits for deliveries, but retail and public sales, everybody comes in that one door in the front.
Do you mind coming up here and just
Sure.
try and go through the, I got lost here in college on this course, so. All right, so what we have now is what?
This is current, right?
Yeah,
Right now, our door's here, we're gonna expand counters here, we're gonna move our door over here. This
Yeah.
is all the new section right here where the red line is over.
so you're just adding more
That's
counters.
shelving. It was an empty, it was a vacant spot in between me and his telephone company, I forget.
Oh, yeah.
So this has been vacant since,
What was this? It was just a
this
new
is,
cooler?
right now, it's nothing. This is my back room, the way it is right now. It sits here, we just have a
Thank you.
Oh, I didn't know that. No, I didn't know that.
Okay. Just 1 second, Attorney Curtis. Just want to check something. Okay. Well, I'm glad business is well.
Thank you.
And you've run a very good business in the city of Lowell and done a very good job, and I'm sure that this extra area will help. Any other questions or comments on the board?
Mr. Chairman, we want to open this to the,
Oh, I apologize, Ryan, thank you very much. At this time, we'll open up the public hearing. Anybody like to speak in favor? In favor? In favor? Hearing no one, that portion of the public hearing is closed. At this time, we'll open up the public hearing. Anybody like to speak in opposition? In opposition? In opposition? In opposition? Hearing no one, that portion of the public hearing is closed. What is the wish of the board?
Move approval.
Move approval by Commissioner McCarthy, seconded by Commissioner Donahue. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Good luck.
Thank you
Good
very
luck.
much. Thank you.
Very good.
proceeding with the next item on our meeting agenda is an application by the licensee, the LD Holdings LLC, Lauren DeSalvo, manager, for a rock and roll concert, all ages, at the business known as Revolution at 74 Merrimack Street. This will be Saturday, October 7, 2017, from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., and entertainment by the promoter Ronald Carrigan, Jr. of the Never Forget Entertainment, Lowell.
Good evening, state your name for the
Good
record.
evening, Lauren DeSalvo.
Hi, Lauren.
Hi.
Good evening, Ronald Kerrigan.
How are you?
Not bad, how are you?
How's business, Lauren?
It's going really well at the bar.
Yep.
The
You had a good weekend at the
renovations-
Folk Festival?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Tell us what's going on.
We're still about a couple weeks away from the renovations, from being completely finished.
Okay,
But we're starting to book shows for the fall, and one of which is a rock and roll concert. It's a daytime show from 5 o'clock over at 10, and we wanted to open it up to all ages
okay.
because the band has a huge following.
It's
And-
a booking agency. It's a national tour package.
Okay,
So I just, in 2016, we ran about 3 of them, I believe, had come through for the permits. So
Yep.
it's something of that nature. And would be ran the same way, and there was no issues with any of them. And
tell us how you're gonna,
so about 5 to 10 p.m. we'll look for the permits. It would
Yep.
kick off around then. The national act's looking to get on around 9-ish.
Okay.
And finish around 10-ish. Load out, take off. I'd come in, I'd rent out some parking spots. I'd get the meter bags.
Yep.
I would get about 12 spots for the tour vans and the trailers. And we would load them in. They would do their thing. We'd have the door. At the door, we would have different bracelets for all age and for anything over 21 plus. And at the bar, we would have it roped off with security, where that's where the drinking would be at the bar, and the rest of the room would be like general population, and where they would also serve food for anyone under 21. Like,
who's in charge of counting patrons walking in the door?
how much is it for the entry?
No, who was gonna be in charge, Lauren? Is it you or the promoter counting?
You're gonna be at the door. We're gonna have security at the door.
Yep.
Giving wristbands.
Okay.
And then we're also gonna have the area around the bar roped off. Nobody's going to be able to leave this area with any alcohol. It's going to be a confined area. And they're also gonna ID at the bar also.
All right, so we have a good following, so we're looking for capacity at this point, right? How many?
Usually, what is it? What's it?
It's 475.
475.
75, okay.
And
Yeah.
usually at the door, at the downstairs door, 'cause it's third floor, we have a club and security doing the age, the IDs and the age and all that, and with those bracelets, and I'm at the door taking the tickets.
You're there.
And I get a different wristband for the ticket, for the admission, and they do a different wristband for all age, underage, which is an X, a wristband, and they still ID for 21 plus at the door with
Okay.
the regular admission,
What about security inside the establishment, Lauren?
I'm sorry?
What about security? How many are we
We're gonna
looking?
have at least 4 security hosts.
Yep,
And depending on the final count, we may have more than that, but at least 4.
so if we're looking at capacity of 475, we should be,
No. If
No?
it's 475, we'll probably have 6.
okay.
Yeah.
And outside counting, you're gonna have 2 or 3?
I bring in extra people on my end to
On
help
your
at the
end.
door, to help at the crowd
Okay.
as well.
All right,
And to help at the stage, loading in gear, in and out, and all that as well.
okay.
And last year also, I'd like to note that on all the events we had, because we kept track of underage, anyone who was 18 and under, as well as 21 and under, and literally there was less than 10, if around 10 of under 21, and they were also with adults.
Okay, let's make sure we keep an eye on that, though.
And the main thing is, the reason why the all ages there is for the package. They like to be able to have everyone there. Everyone under 21 who doesn't buy drinks buys their CDs, buys their shirts, buys all their merch.
So how do we
That's how the
single
bands-
out the under 21? So if, they come with somebody who is 21 and that person buys 2 beers and gives it, is there anybody?
No, they're not leaving.
They
anyone
can't
who's
leave that
21
area, right?
Doesn't
No.
leave the
Got
area.
it,
It's gonna be a
okay.
designated area.
All right,
Yeah. And
Commissioner
that's good
Cap-
enough because that's still right in front of the stage.
Right.
all right, that's
You
fine.
know.
Commissioner Donahue, McCarthy?
Deputy? Any questions on this?
As always, I would caution the licensee about using wristbands. I don't think they're very effective, and they don't relieve the bartenders or the other servers of the responsibility to make sure that they're not serving any underage patrons.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay, we can do
Commissioner
more than
Dunn?
that. We can figure out a better way. If you want
What's
to put
the-
an X on their hand.
Yeah, X's
Something more
and
visible.
wristbands for under 21, and as well as they're still carding
Yeah.
at the bar for any drink.
okay. You understand the concern of the Captain
they'd have to be
Captain Webb
doing-
here. So we want to make sure that, if the Lowell Police have a concern, we want to make sure that you understand their concern. All
Absolutely.
right, Commissioner
Yes, we
Donahue?
do.
That's my concern, is the under 21. Is there going to be some breakups so that somebody just can't pass the beer,
Absolutely not.
What there's gonna be is,
No.
there's 2 entrances basically over to the bar. So basically, if this was the room, That was the stage. You come in over right here, the bar's right there, and there's a big entrance area that's walls around it. We're gonna rope off the entrance to the bar over here and right here, and there's gonna be a security here and a security here. And if the capacity's gonna be large, because there's gonna be pre-sale tickets, we're gonna have two people like, right next to the stages watching, because it gets rough. Sometimes it's mosh pits, people play. They'll be watching the crowd. When downstairs, there'll be one at the door doing the ticketing with somebody from the club.
So what you're saying is there's a breakup between
Yes.
the area
If
where...
alcohol cannot leave. The security won't let it happen. And, you know, to get in there, you're going to have to get carded.
As you know, underage drinkers are pretty smart.
I know that. I know that. I'll be there physically to
Also-
make sure that nothing happens.
Also, it's going to be no re-entry.
You're
So
gonna clear,
people-
you're gonna clear the area?
Go out
around?
and drink in the parking lot and come back. There'll be no re-entry.
Right.
Okay.
There'll be no re-entry.
Thank you.
Anything further? Do we have a motion on the floor?
Move to approve.
Move for approval by Commissioner McCarthy,
I'll second.
seconded by Commissioner Donahue. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Good luck with the event.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Good night.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Have a great night.
Commission will now proceed with the next meeting item agenda, and that it will be the hearing on the allegations of misconduct as charged by William M. Taylor, the Superintendent of Police, to the License Commission dated July 24, 2017, regarding allegations of misconduct against the licensee Alexander LLC, doing business as Vibe Restaurant and Lounge, LXAM Torres Manager, the all-alcoholic beverages restaurant licensee at 179 Central Street. This will be the incident dated July 15, 2017.
Good evening, state your name for the record.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, fellow commissioners. Attorney Michael Zame for Alexander LLC. I'm here with Alexi Torres, who is the manager of record.
Thank you, Attorney Zane. Do you mind if we waive the complaint, the reading?
We waive the reading.
Thank you, appreciate that. Floor is yours.
Just to, and I think we have a few housekeeping measures to take care of from last time we were here.
Sure.
I provided the board and the commission and the police department, the law department with a series of photographs and receipts. And I think one of the photographs should take care of item 9 on the agenda regarding the review of security cameras. You'll recall last time we were here and there were security cameras that were not hooked up. And taking them in the order with the package I gave you. The last time that we were here, there was some concern regarding lack of beer in the beer cooler. As you recall, the cooler that should have been filled with beer was broken. That's why it was being replaced.
Okay.
And you'll see there's a photograph with the most recent, they restocked up on their beer. There's a receipt further on down the line in the package that I gave you, which corresponds to that from the delivery that they received to stock the cooler back up with beer. The second one is the communications. You remember there was some concern about the lack of communication between the security staff. You'll see a set of the walkie-talkies and the security one that's been purchased by Mr. Torres for his staff. The next one is a set of security cameras, which are now, you can see, we're up and running as of last evening. They are capable now. He has an Ethernet cable that allows him to monitor it from his phone or computer, as the case may be. It does run, we're told, a terabyte is the capacity, which I guess is pretty big. And it looks like they told us it would be about a 14 or 15 day period of where it would be on file, and then after the 15th day, it would start doing it. So, you know, if there is an incident, we have the ability up to 15 days from the date of the incident to preserve that evidence for use in whatever situation might be. I know Commissioner Krieger, who's not here tonight, did indicate he would look to see some receipts for purchases. You'll see some from Merrimack Valley Distributors and Horizon, I think is the other one.
Yep.
With some vouchers. The initial one was back when he opened up. And he initially supplied, one is liquor and the other one is alcohol. One is liquor, and the other is malt beverages from two different, so you'll see that the supply is, he has been purchasing that. And, dating back to when it was open mid-April, initially he was only open a couple nights a week. So he's actually only been open about, I think 18 or 20 days. So the supply is, he's still good with the liquor side of it, and the beer is stocked. This is the third shipment I think he received in terms of beverage, malt beverages. So addressing some of the allegations that are in the complaint that's before you tonight, based upon an incident that occurred on July 15th. As you recall, we were last here on July 27th for incidents that occurred, 3 incidents that occurred, one on June 12th, one on June 19th, and the other on July 11th. Those 3 incidents we were aware of, as we mentioned, that we were aware the next one was coming down the line, and that was, as you recall, we had taken some progressive disciplinary steps with some employees, and then ultimately after the last meeting and after this incident, we received those people are, no longer with them. They've taken a lot of the security steps that were taken since the time we were here last time were part and parcel of, including this incident. My concern, and again, one of the things that I did find is you start to read through the allegations of misconduct and the police reports that are in there. I counted 5 times where between the staff themselves and the police who were on scene, doing everything within their power to get these people to just leave. To leave the area, and they, again, all efforts to not, to get them to leave were to no avail. The staff tried to get them to leave. The police officers tried to get them to leave. The sergeant tried to get them to leave. These people just weren't leaving. I also noticed that, both in all the officers' reports, and they all mention, that the officers who were involved in trying to effectuate the arrest of a couple of the people had people jump on their backs or try to interfere with their efforts to place the people under arrest. And the staff, assisted the officers and pulled one girl off of their back. So, like I said, a far cry from the last time you were here is the people who did nothing, and you guys were concerned about that. So Mr. Hancock, who was one of the security staff, is here tonight. The other gentleman was one of the gentlemen that was here last time, and he's been obviously since let go. One of the things that the only thing we really disagree with here in the reports is that this girl, who's supposedly 17 years old, okay, Mr. Hancock is absolutely adamant that she did not come from inside the club. There were girls that he believes were coming from the Middlesex Street area, and encountered 2 of the females that were coming out of their establishment. And then there were some words exchanged, and that's what started the security staff tried to get these people to leave, the police tried to get these people to leave. I believe there was an officer standing right in the area when this all started on a directed patrol, stationed outside the club. When I come down to the final report in the package that's in front of you, which is from Sergeant Hyde, Sergeant Hyde puts in his report that he had a conversation with Officer, and I'm going to butcher the name, Bunjima, regarding what happened, and he says that Officer Benjima says he saw everybody inside the club and the 2 girls fighting inside the club, yet Officer Benjima's report says when I got there, by the time I arrived, the 2 girls who had been involved in a fight had been dispersed and were moving toward their cars. So it's a little bit of a conflict as far as, putting the 2 girls inside the 2 girls, or all the girls that were involved in this fight, the 2 groups of girls. And it was a little confusing to me as to what groups they're talking about and who came from where. With respect to, they're absolutely adamant that 17-year-old girl, there was another girl, Julie Chen, were not in their club that evening.
Okay. Sergeant Hyde. Just state your name for the record, sir.
Sergeant Daniel Hyde, Lowell Police Department.
You've heard Attorney Zane give his account.
Yes.
Do you refute any of his,
I spoke to the gentleman who said he was the manager on duty at the time, Marino Centeno.
Centennial?
He told me that both women were in the club and the security staff had gotten them out of the club at some point. That was from him because I arrived after they were outside on the street.
Okay.
So I had to go by what he told me.
Okay. You have anything else further, sir?
We had all available units from this weren't tied up at other calls at the club Vibe, and we also needed assistance from the Mass State Police to help disperse the crowd.
From the Mass State Police?
Yes, we had 3 or 4 units from the state police also.
Why would the Mass State Police?
They were available.
Is that an occurrence that happens, Captain Webb, quite a bit?
Mr. Chairman, during the weekends, from time to time, the state police are in the city
Okay.
helping us out. And in this particular call, all available Lowell police officers were sent to the scene, and the state police units in the city were also sent because we needed more help.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Officer Kingham? And I'm sorry, is that Officer Benjamia? You can come right up, sir, as well. Thank you. Both of you, that's be fine. Just state your names for the record.
Officer Dana King and Lowell Police.
Thank you.
Sorry. Officer Juan Benjamia, Lowell Police Department.
Benjamia, attorney's name. You got that one?
Got it.
All right. Okay. Officers, please, your accounts of what happened. Officer King, security there at the Vibe, were they helping, accommodating, or, I mean, were they?
Yes, we were there on a directed patrol, and we saw the altercation begin, or at least from what I had saw, was the 2 groups of females directly outside the door on the sidewalk.
Yep.
I began to intervene. The security staff, or I don't know if some were security and other were just general staff of the establishment, did try to assist us in calming the situation down and separating both groups, but unfortunately, one of the parties involved was very persistent, and it ended up escalating to multiple arrests.
But when you got there, the 2 females were on the sidewalk?
Correct.
Thank you. Officer Benjamia?
Right. I responded after he gave us the call that there was a fight at the right in front of the Vibe Club. When I showed up, most of the crowd was dispersing at that time. It was like Officer King states, it took us a very long time to get rid of most of the people that was right coming from the door or right in front of the door.
Were they congregating on the sidewalk, or?
Right in front of the club, right in the sidewalk, going back and forth between their cars and going back and forth from the sidewalk to the door.
So at that time, how many cruisers did we have there, also with the Mass State Police at that time? How many cruisers were there?
At that time, when I first arrived on scene, there was at least 5 of us. Then state police arrived shortly after, when the commotion came out on the air that we were making arrests.
Okay. I want to get back to Sergeant Hyde's comment that manager on duty, Centennial, stated that, to you, that 17-year-olds were inside the club.
Yes.
That is correct, right?
That is correct.
I just want to make sure.
Because I asked who was the manager on duty and asked him about the 2 females, and he said that the security staff had escorted them out.
Escorted them out? Okay. How many, who was first at the scene? Capacity, how many people? Were we under, over, would you say, or?
I believe the capacity is 81, and at the time, it did not appear to be over 81. It might have been close to that number.
Okay.
But when the incident started, I would estimate that the majority of the crowd had actually exited the establishment, but once the females started to have an altercation, that's when the remainder of the crowd also began to stop and take notice and onlook.
So you basically had all the club on the sidewalk?
Essentially at that point, and, as we were saying earlier, the officers and also the staff were attempting to get the group of females that was instigating the incident to leave. Their car was actually parked directly in front of the door. So we figured that, it's a minor altercation at that point. If we can just get each party to leave. One other party had left, heading down towards Market Street, but one of the females in the group that remained on scene was the one that was instigating a lot of the further problems.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it, gentlemen. Mr. Torres, were you present that night?
No, that was one of the last night that I wasn't on the
Okay,
premises.
I understand. I know we had some medical issues, is that correct?
Yeah.
Who was at the door, and if it was have they been let go, the people? Because now I'm really worried about the 17-year-old girl who gained entrance.
Yeah, it was obviously Santino that we talked about.
He's been let go?
Yes.
Okay.
And then the security that we had mentioned,
Yeah.
which was that they also...
He's been let go as well? Okay.
And then I know you had another concern of someone which has nothing to do with the incident. He's
Yeah.
been let go as well.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, not a problem.
Judy wants to say something.
I'm sorry?
Judy wants to say something.
I'm sorry, Hannah. Go right ahead, please.
I had a question for Officer King, but I also have a question for Mr. Torres while he's
Okay, you want to
answering
go with Mr. Torres first?
Sure.
All right.
Mr. Torres, when exactly was Mr. Santino let go?
Santino was let go, I would say, it was probably when as soon as I came back from the health issues that all these incidents piled up one after another. I would say pretty much that same week of the last incident after I came back from the medical report, from when I was out due to my health.
Okay. Just because at the last meeting, I think you said that he had already been let go at that meeting.
July 27th was the last meeting, and I believe the representation was, he had been disciplined, and then, based upon this next, the 15th, that was going to result in something one step further. So there were two others that were let go, Azuega, Santino, and then a third.
Torres.
Mr. Torres was essentially barred from the premises.
Okay. My understanding was that Arzuego was here last time. He hadn't been disciplined, and Santino had already been let go. And George Torres was...
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify because my understanding was that...
There were 3 security people that have been let go ultimately. Some were initially, and Mr. Azuega after the last meeting, but we had knowledge of this. And I believe we did not have the actual allegations of misconduct that was sent by the police department to the board.
Yep.
We had an idea what it was about, and as a result of that, once we got that was the end of Mr. Azuega's career at Vibe.
And do we know who was carding the night that this occurred, July 15th?
Mr. Hancock, who's here,
Okay.
he's in the reports.
Okay. And then if I could just ask Officer Kingen a question. Officer, in your report, you state that you spoke to Club Vibe staff, Pedro Arzuega, and Mr. Hancock. Was this after the arrest had already taken place?
That's correct. This was after the arrest.
Okay. And did you talk to them about the 2 women who were ultimately arrested?
Yes, I did. As a matter of fact, I was indicating the juvenile, who we didn't know was a juvenile at the time, but I was noting that she seemed very intoxicated, and I inquired as to how much she had been served, if she'd been overserved, and the response I got was that because of her size as being a small female with a slim build, she may have only been served 1 or 2 drinks to reach her level of intoxication, which indicated to me that, she had been in there drinking.
Okay. And do you know if that was Mr. Arzuega or Mr. Hancock that you...
I spoke to them both at the same time,
Okay.
and they both concurred that, because of her slim size, that she, they weren't aware of exactly how much she had been served, but she might have only been served 1 or 2 drinks to be in that condition.
Okay. And when did it ultimately come to light that she was a juvenile?
I was still on scene. I was notified by the CO, Captain Kilmartin, who was in the cell block monitoring the booking procedures, that one of the females who was brought in was in fact a 17-year-old juvenile.
Do you know if she had a fake ID on her, or was it just her normal?
I didn't recover any fake IDs or anything of that nature, and I'm not sure if there was any property that she came in with that had any kind of identification.
Okay, thank you, those are all my questions.
Thank you.
Questions of?
Go ahead, Attorney. Attorney Zane, go ahead.
Officer, did you ever see the juvenile inside the establishment?
No, I did not.
Okay, did you ever see anybody, obviously then you didn't see anybody in the establishment serve her any alcohol?
No, I did not.
And you did not at any point in time know whether or not what condition the other people were in when they were served, if they were served alcohol, do you?
No.
Okay, so that's all I have.
Thank you, officer.
Thank you.
Captain Webb, anything you would like to add?
No, other than, I think it's obvious we have a problem with this establishment. Seems to be, even though the officer didn't see anybody overserved, it seems to be a continuing pattern of disturbances here, and we all know what that's usually caused by, is people who've been overserved getting out at closing time, and disturbances break out as a result out in the street. So that's our concern with what's been going on at Club 5.
Thank you, Captain. Mr. Torres, are you now back full-time Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sundays?
Yes, that is correct.
When did you return?
I returned actually the day after this incident.
The day after that incident?
Yeah, I was back on the premises and haven't missed a day since.
Okay. How are things going since you returned?
Not bad. I mean, folk festival for the most part. It was pretty challenging. It was like from my first, it being my first folk festival. One thing that occurred, which is the communication. Besides that, pretty much been handling every night perfectly fine. Trying to get things in place to in cooperation out, and also to run my establishment smooth as well. And to bring it to my staff's concern that from now on, it's just no ifs and buts, and it's just got to be on the A game because of all the things that has occurred.
All right. Commissioner McCarthy, Commissioner Donahue, any questions? Attorney Zame or Mr. Torres?
We have a lot of problems up there. You got to really, I see you've done a great job. You got new security equipment. I'd like to see you really work on training your staff. I think from what we hear that from the police department, that young lady may have been served in your bar. I just think that the place is out of control. And it's our job to do something about it.
Yes, I agree.
Commissioner Donahue, anything further?
Well, in looking at the allegations, I'm concerned first about although I believe it happened, person under 21 years of age being served. Back on the rulings that have come back from the ABCC, I don't think we have we have the evidence to find him responsible of that in and of itself. But be that as it may, the other three allegations, I think, intoxicated people and the disorderliness of the parties, as Mr. McCarthy has said, this is out of control. When you get the state police having to come, as well as pulling protection from every neighborhood in the city, I don't think you have a business plan that began, that you thought this out clearly and knew what you were getting into. And I'm concerned for the citizens of Lowell. And when you get young kids running wild, as I've seen over the years from my experiences, it's not a good atmosphere, and I think I had thought about taking your license, seriously, but I'm going to listen to the parties of chairman who have more experience in this than I do. But I'm very concerned about the safety of the citizens downtown and other parts of the city, because cruises are being taken away.
Personally speaking, I'm concerned about the 17-year-old as well. I'm trying to take everything into consideration here. First off, we know that tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday, you're closed, okay? And that's a big hit financially, I get it. And I do understand the measures that you've taken to rein in the disturbances that are happening at your club. But I will say that you are, as my father would say to me, you are skating on very thin ice, young man.
And I understand.
And as much as this board wants you to succeed, there's just so many times that you can take a bite out of the apple, all right? And in my mind, this is probably your last bite, okay? But you have taken measures, and once again, I'm only speaking personally. You have taken measures to correct a lot of the complaints that have been brought before this board. The cameras are in place. A question concerning the cameras, does that pretty much encompass the whole establishment, Attorney Zane, all those angles I did notice? Is that all of the club?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty comprehensive. You see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 7, there's 6 cameras. I'm sorry, yeah, 6 that show some main areas, the
Okay,
entry
I just want to make
areas.
sure we're covered, our basis is there, all right? We've pretty much removed all of security and hired new security people. Are these people with some experience in the club business? Can you
Yes.
explain?
Yes.
Yes. Can you tell me what experience that some of these people, so you've let 3 people go,
Yeah.
and how many have you hired?
Well, I actually took the initiative of making sure I have more security in place, so I probably hired about 4 more security. I have anywhere from 4 to 5 on my busier night, Friday, Saturday.
These are all people that have had experience in the club atmosphere or bars?
Mr. Hancock has worked in,
Sure, bring up
Mill
Mr.
City.
Hancock, let him introduce himself to the board. State your name for the record, sir.
How you doing? I'm Randy Hancock.
Tell us about your past experience in...
I've worked at Mill City for 1.5 years. I've worked at the Crown. I've been doing this for many years. I'm one of the guys that, like, I work that door, I secure that door very well.
Okay.
You know, at times, there's 2 guys at the door. Like I said, the other gentleman was let go because of his actions in that episode that night. But when I'm at the door, I'm very professional. I make sure no underage people get in there. I search them so there's no weapons coming in there. I know what I'm doing. And when the police come at the end of the night, I help them. I'm very professional with them. I don't have any issues with them. My cousin Corey Rudy is a cop. He comes there from time to time. And you know, everything goes smoothly. But like you said, sometimes things happen. But like that, if I can address that issue that you guys were talking about right there, if you guys don't mind.
Go ahead.
Okay, there's 2 doors at the club. The gentleman that was let go is at the right door. I'm at the left door. There was like 4 patrons left inside the establishment. There was 2 girls coming down they came from the little side street there, Jackson Street. They came down. They started yelling to me, and before they even got involved with the other 2 women that were coming out. Those were the last, I believe those were the last 2 women that came out of the establishment. And then there was another one that was already out on the sidewalk. They were already asking me, can I get in? I said, the club is closed. Then they seen those 2 girls in front of the club. They started yelling back and forth immediately because the gentleman that was working that door froze up. I came over from my position. I grabbed one of the girls. I brought her way down the street, and I told her to stay there because I was trying to defuse the situation. I came back. This girl came behind me yelling. These other 4 girls that I think got arrested, there was 3 or 4 of them that got arrested. I bring them to their car 3 different occasions so they wouldn't get arrested and try to defuse the situation. I got to the point where I just put my hands up and I said, you guys want to get arrested? Go ahead. I stepped back and I let these officers do their job like I do every time. I do my job very well. We had some like kinks in the security team. We got some new guys. I believe that we got a good team now. And moving forward, I think we're going to be okay.
You feel confident?
Absolutely.
Okay, appreciate
I do
you.
my job very well. I've been trained. I know how to do this.
All right, we appreciate
Thank
your
you.
statement. Okay. I do want to be emphatic, though, and when I say that changes have been made, and that's great, but we need to make sure that these types of things just don't occur anymore, and taking resources away from the city, and not including the Mass State Police, which is, needless to say, we have 5 cruisers and the Mass State Police there. But it seems you're making an effort, Mr. Torres, and I'm gonna give you that, but I'm giving you the last bite of your apple here, all right? Because we are gonna suspend the license, but I'm gonna put those days in abeyance if I have a second. But it's gonna be steep here, okay? And basically, if something happens and we put these days and they're gonna be suspended, you might as well just close your doors. I would make a motion that we suspend the license for 7 days and hold all 7 days in abeyance.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner McCarthy. All in favor signify by saying aye.
All right.
Aye. Thank you very much.
Commissioner?
Yes, it's your-
I just also wanted to bring up the fact that I think that the licensee currently has 1 day that was being held in abeyance.
Yes, and how many, was that for 6 months?
Yes.
Council, okay. we're still gonna keep that in abeyance, okay? I'd like to hold that in abeyance, and let's do these 7 days for another 6 months, okay? So we'll hold 7 days in abeyance.
If I might be...
Sure, Attorney?
I thought that was held in abeyance, but then applied after the last one.
Secretary Nguyen?
Yeah, I got a copy of the record.
What's the
Attorney
question?
Zame has a question for you.
With respect to the instance when the commission had a hearing June 22nd,
I believe, yep.
and there was the allegations, the commission found licensee failed to display the liquor license, failed to cease entertainment 30 minutes within closing, and failed to clear the tables 30 minutes before closing time. So a 1 day, I'm sorry.
No, that was placed on file.
Yeah, that was on file. Excuse me, I apologize. And so now for the June 12th violation, failure to maintain order, decorum in premises surrounding areas. This being July 27th. That 1 day suspension for 6 months abeyance, and the abeyance would be till December 27th, 2017.
So in fact, there is still 1 day held in abeyance, or is that placed on file? Because I don't have that on this hearing.
Correcting my mistake in the initial.
Okay.
Was the first hearing that we had held. I'm looking at this list, and I was going back to June 22nd, when in fact that letter's on file. So on our first hearing we had on June 27th of the 3 hearings we held, the first action of the commission was to a 1 day suspension, and that'll be held 6 months in abeyance.
Okay.
So then, following that, we had a second hearing for the June 19th incident. Violations were cited, and it was a 1 day suspension, which is being served today.
Okay.
And
then the final 2 on Saturday
then
and
we had a third
Sunday.
hearing in June 27th as well, and we had a 2 day suspension, and the licensee is to serve those suspensions, August 11th and 12th. That'll be tomorrow and Saturday.
Counsel, am I well within my right then to still keep this in abeyance, or does it have to be served that 1 day?
I think it's a gray area.
Yeah, I'm just not sure. I don't want to go.
When conditions aren't set at the time where it's held in abeyance, I would say that it's then triggered with a subsequent violation.
Okay. But that's a gray area, right?
Yes, I believe that is a gray area.
All right. Commissioner Donahue.
I think that's an area in which we have discretion as to whether we want to impose it or not. I remember when I was first on the board, I made a motion to impose, it was against the bar, that we impose the suspended abeyance day, and I think that it'd have to be done. I refer back to my old days as probation officer.
Sure.
Violating probation, it was something that, whether you needed to or not, it was up to the discretion of the judge to do it, and I think we have that discretion here.
All right. I think the outcome of this is stiff, so if something does happen, this board will trigger all days in abeyance, if in fact something egregious happens over there. So I think I'll hold firm, and we'll still hold the 7 days in abeyance. Attorney Zame?
No objection.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate the officers and the detective being here tonight.
If I may, just I know there's another communication on, when scheduling that.
Yep.
I'm not going to be available on August 24th, which I believe would be the next hearing,
We'll push it out for a month then?
if you don't mind.
No, does Commissioner Donahue or McCarthy have a problem with that?
No.
No? All right, we'll set that for, that'd be September 14th?
So our schedule for the month of September is September 14th
Okay.
and the 28th.
All right. September 14th, good with you, Attorney Zane?
Actually, the 28th would be
28th?
Seeger that night.
Bob Seeger? Did you get me a ticket, or? wouldn't- Yeah, okay, right, yeah, that's all I need right now. Wish of the body.
I don't have a problem with it.
Commissioner Donahue?
No, I'm sure Attorney Zane will try and fit it into his busy schedule, and we'll make sure we get it done on that day, right? 28th?
We'll see you on September 28th.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Torres? All right, keep it up, all right?
Thanks.
Be vigilant, all right? Attaboy.
So following up with our next item on our meeting agenda, we have the communication from William M. Taylor, the Superintendent of Police, to the License Commission dated August 8th, 2017, regarding the licensee known as The Last Safe, Inc., Timothy Regan, manager, all alcoholic beverages restaurant licensee at 160 Merrimack Street. The allegations of misconduct for an incident July 15th, 2017.
Motion by Commissioner McCarthy, second by Commissioner Donahue, schedule a hearing for August 24th. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. Thank you. We've already taken care of item 11.
So if you wish, I'll read. We also have a communication from William M. Taylor, the Superintendent of Police, to the License Commission dated August 7, 2017, regarding the licensee Alexander LLC, doing business as Vibe Restaurant and Lounge, Alexei Torres, manager, all alcoholic beverages restaurant licensee at 179 Central Street. This would be an allegation of misconduct for an incident on July 30th, 2017. Commission has now scheduled that hearing for Thursday, September 28th, 2017 at 6 p.m.
Thank you very much. Anything further from the commissioners? If not, do I have a motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn by Commissioner Donahue, seconded by Commissioner McCarthy. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Everyone have a good evening.